Okay, so today I'm going to do a persuasive topic about whether or not schools should use student-athlete drug testing for their athletes. And this goes for high school and college age students. I believe that a lot of this starts in the high school, and that's why it is necessary for it to be started at the high school level. The major reason that I believe that we need to have student drug testing for athletes is because I think that as students start getting older and becoming more athletic and more able, they see their role models in the big leagues, and I think that they realize that they use steroids or other enhancers and that they need to as well, so that they can play better on the field, or that they can win more games, or they can be as good as their role models. But I think that when students realize that they're going to be drug tested randomly, that maybe they'll stop trying to do the steroids out of fear of being kicked off the team or even expelled from the school. The major reason that drug prevention is so important is because in high school and college, those kids may have their own role models older than them, but they have to realize that they're older than other people and they're going to be their role models for elementary and middle school age children. The personal morals involved in choosing to do steroids or other school related drugs like Adderall or Ritalin is one of the big concepts. A lot of people don't realize that when they choose to do that, they're kind of tarnishing their morals and the school that they play for, whether it be a high school or a college level game. The school's reputation gets completely ruined when, say like a Big Ten school has all of their football team jacked up on steroids. It makes it look bad for the school, and the school can get in a lot of trouble too, and a lot of people don't realize that it's not just them they're hurting, but it's the school as well. And this picture I have is what a lot of people think steroids look like, but actually it can look a lot less serious. A lot of times you can't really tell right off the bat when people start using the steroids, but eventually there are things like body acne and extreme facial hair growth and other side effects when people are able to start noticing. I have a couple of charts here. These are some of the major side effects that happen when people use steroids for physical strength. It messes with your heart and your lungs really bad, and it also hurts the development of your brain when like a high schooler would use it, or even a college age student. When you use the steroids, it harms you. And especially after you get off the steroids, your body is so used to having them and having all that extra muscle mass that once you go without it, you can get these horrible rashes like this, and they permanently scar you forever. And this just shows all of the different areas that get affected when you use steroids. But along the lines of the issues that happen when you use steroids, is it's really important personally for everyone to realize when they're young that their personal health is seriously affected by these drugs. A lot of young people who are joining the football team aren't going to want to look like that when they're 30 years old because they decided they wanted to get jacked up for their next game. So after all of the consequences, when kids are drug tested, it gives them another reason to say no to the steroids that maybe another team member would offer. So if they're trying to find a way out of it but they don't really know how to just say no, this gives them a reason to, because they can say, I don't want to fail a drug test after a game. A lot of people oppose or disagree against having high school and college levels have their athletes drug tested. One reason is because the cost of the test, they can be anywhere from $150 to $200, and a lot of people know how to kind of work around them. Just like any other drug test, there's always ways to make it so it looks like you passed. But the major concept of having the drugs tested for is so people know that you're still trying to find them. So when the students know that they're going to be tested, it might make them a little less reluctant to go ahead and take the steroids or to do things that they shouldn't do because they are going to be tested. There's also legality issues about younger students being drug tested in like high school. If you're in high school, a lot of high schools now will do kind of like a contract with their football team members or their baseball team members that in order for you to play on the field against another team, you have to pass a steroid drug test. And some people don't really feel like that's fair because they're underage. But in reality, if you're going to play the game, you need to play it fair. And some people just think that it's okay for people to use steroids just because everyone's going to do it. Like in the major leagues, there's so many people doing it that it makes them think that everyone else should just so that everyone is equal. But say one guy's taking 25 cc's of this steroid, someone else is going to be taking 50 just so that he can beat the guy taking 25, and eventually they're going to have so many steroids in their system that their heart's just going to explode because they can't handle it anymore. So it's really important that people know that they can't take these because it's really harmful to them and themselves. So overall, everything with the steroids, the major reason that I believe every school should have steroid drug testing for their athletes is for the personal safety of their students and for the reputation of their school, to prevent the drug use of steroids and other game enhancers in high schools and colleges alike, and so that it keeps the playing field fair and level for all players, not just those who are wanting to cheat.